started going somewhere different, and I'll have to play you back the CD of that session. Seen it all before when your eyes pass. When I've seen you smile turn and fade, like the sun going down in your heart. Follow the path as far as you can. Silver lining has a break and we follow it through. I know the cracks aren't wide enough. Gonna follow the grain and out into the fields. And I know when your heart's about to break, and you're hoping that it was your last escape.
Like you had for black card work, the string thing, you know, maybe get a bunch of weird lead-ins and stuff too. But yeah, like have your bass neck mic'd, that feedback swell on the delay for like going into a section or something. Yeah, I love that.
You know, a lot of times the song will start off slow and simple, and it's gonna get more and more built up from there. So now we're just kind of listening back after we play the song live. A lot of times you forget what we've started off with. So it's nice to go back and kind of see what's left behind and see if you want to bring it into the fold. And with this little simple melody, fits nice. And then Marcus had this idea for this kind of two-line repetitive vocal, and I think the song is one of those kind of meditative states that builds and builds and builds, and it just feels good to wake up in the morning to.
So, first question is, Paul,
Yeah.
why don't you have a cell phone?
Oh. Just having trouble adjusting to the modern age, I guess.
You come out here every day and get on the phone.
I know, and I don't have a phone where I'm staying either. It's kind of tragic, so I gotta use those public payphones.
Who are you calling?
Oh, that was my girlfriend, Patty.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. That's how it is to the verse. Before we go into the jam.
good jam, huh?
It's a great jam.
When the notes are being played, you know, in the room, they're still hanging in the air. It's the best. It's the best art there is. You want a cup of like ice water?
Get some ice. Video.
Did that happen just now? John, let me see it. Let's see it. Let's see it. Did it happen just now?
Mountains rise. Blood rushes to the surface.
What happened there?
No, I just busted it.
Let's do one with the tape rolling.
That was exhilarating from right here.
I started chipping away at this, another version of All Systems Red, because I've been pretty unhappy with lyrically where it's been going, just freeform wise.
Right.
A lot of times I just like to kind of improvise live, and then I get recordings and I listen back and see if there's anything good. Documented with a silent snow. It's only her from far, far away, like a child freed on its last legs. You know, I'm trying to come to grips with this song because every time I start hearing the recording, it reminds me of Sweet Home Alabama. It just drives me crazy. Even my folks back home are following suit. Everywhere you turn now, you only see red. Everyone is glued to the nightmare news. Betting on a candidate like you're betting on a horse. And just when you're thinking it couldn't get worse, watch the numbers rise from the death toll.
What's your favorite so far? To play, you know, to...
I think the rock song that you recorded
Yeah.
is my favorite. I like that, you know, like feedback solos at the end for 10 minutes and stuff.
Yeah. Is that hard for you or no? Easy.
It's kind of new territory for like playing electric guitar. I didn't do that for a long time, so I'm really unsecure about that in a way, you know. So
And after you get to the G, I can play it for you. See, I'm not too worried about it now. It is a cool part. Wow, wow. Pretty simple, yeah. Power chords. Note to director. At this point in time, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pedals. Our bet is that there's going to be twice as many at the end of the session.
I like that sound, Paul. Is that bugging you?
Plus an addition of a guitar tech, hairstylist, and personal bartender.
Please.
Please.
Dear record company.
I think it's called All Systems Red.
All systems red.
Is it a tough, what's the deal? Tell me about it. Because the bass is kind of
It's
that.
the easiest song I've ever recorded.
That's kind of the normal pattern. So for the second and third verse, it'll be almost the same.
That's
Yeah.
it? Yeah?
And then change. That's it.
I guess playing on this album, there's been a lot of more vibes because there hasn't been trumpet and stuff. So then I, try to jump on another instrument and see what other kind of timbres and sounds we can produce. It's interesting because you never think you would be able to produce something like that, and because you're stuck in that moment of producing the music that we were doing before with mariachi and a lot of jazz, and a lot of stuff still has it involved, still included, but it's just not as prevalent as it was before. But it's good. It's nice to see the new directions and the changes that people go through in the music as well.
This is a new song called All Systems Red.
Felt a tremor stir beneath my breath, and they forecast storms on the gallant pole. Woke up from the nightmare mist and hoping to read the sign in the morning air. Nothing changes here and nothing improves. I'll say my friends who just want out and leave these troubles behind, scatter like paper in the eye of the storm, documented when the silence knows it's only her far, far away. La 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 la, la 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 la. More cars and play following suit. Everywhere you look, you only see red and wonder in the trouble of the race. I'm watching a horse running down its last legs. you think it couldn't get much worse. Once the numbers rise on the death toll, and the chimes of freedom flash and fade, only heard from far, far away. Trust in your road. Now the gray is broken in the early morn, and the words forming barely have a choice. They strip your heart and break you without much. We'd like to invite to the stage now. We'd like to invite Mr. Salvador Duran.
And so I'm just trying to figure out, it's from Bisbee, which was kind of a little loosey-goosey, Studio, which was kind of like ding, 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 exacto sometimes, to now I just heard at least that one song.
Gone somewhere else with
Yeah.
it a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of curious.
Well, we've also...
Specifically that song, and then also just the album and
yeah.
everything. Yeah, go ahead, John.
Well, I was going to say that, and Joe, you can add, because you actually added another part to the song. In New York, we were just in New York most recently, and started the final, it's not the actual final process, but it's the final stages of the process, which is mixing. And so we've been spending a lot of time doing that in New York City, and a bit tedious.
Yeah,
Long
as
hours.
mixing always is.
Yeah. So that's definitely a phase where we're at right now, is in mixing. And a lot of times what happens is in that stage is other things get added on. Lyrics get changed.
Sorry.
extra, maybe a little percussion things gets added, a different vocal line. So it's, even though it is a tedious process, it also is still part of the creative process as well.
Has it changed in the mixing a lot?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think, especially compared to other records that we've done, this mixing process is a lot different from what we've done before. So
Is that because of you're taking more time, because of JD, because of...
both those things, more time, JD's influence is big, and his method is different than Craig's. So.
Mm-hmm. How okay? How's the album? You know, because I was talking to Volker just now, and he was saying how if you wanted to, you could put Hot Rail, Blacklight, and Feast of Wire kind of in a trilogy of influence.
Uh-huh.
And now this one is somewhere else, maybe influenced by time spent with other musicians or Wilco or just age or tired. I want to move or do something different or like this album's coming from. Where's it coming from?
Well, I know for me, from the drummer perspective, we were in those earlier records, so I was so happy and relieved to do some different kinds of beats, different time signatures, and the Latin beats were really fun to play, more of a wide rhythm rather than an up-down rhythm, which is boom ching. And I know that especially with like Hot Rail and Feast of Wire, I felt like Joey would try to sneak in a pop song, and I would try to play the beat, just couldn't do it. It felt like lead. The beat felt too heavy to play for some reason. I don't know why. It just did.
And this
And
album,
this album, it feels like, hey, I'm ready to play the beat finally. The
and
giddy pop beat for all the kids to have hippity skippy fun with.
Oh, God.
and lyrically, is it different for you?
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of more personal, I guess. The perspective is not so much from the narrative as a lot of the other songs on past albums. They're kind of more in the first person. So it'll be interesting to see how they all come down the wire. There's a few sort of political songs, and it's like the song All Systems Red. It's taking some time to kind of work on that and take it out of a certain light, and so it's not so noticeable or so beating you on over the head with the topic.
Yeah, because in the house it was like red states and voting and
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, so it's been the lyrics have gone through different stages, just as the music has. It's kind of taken shape and lost its shape and tried different things. When we were in New York, right before I left to come to
Blue
Tucson,
state.
which was the blue state.
Comfortable zone.
Mm-hmm. And
But you live in a red state, by the way.
Trouble zone.
I started adding some
Most
overdubs
unfortunate.
and trying to take the song somewhere else because I was getting a little tired of the kind of angry singer-songwriter lyrics combined with the music as well. And I felt like lyrically I wanted to change things, and then I also added some kind of finger-picking acoustic guitar and some very simple vocal backup voices and some piano that goes along with that, which may be used, may not be used. We haven't heard the mix. I was there for a certain portion of it, then I had to hop on a plane. So I told JD, just think of it as two different types of versions. One is acoustic, and one is electric and explosive.
Let me ask you one more thing because I know you guys got to go do some stuff. And this is kind of the ultimate question for me, which is why I've always been involved in, I think, in my own fascination with musicians. And I've asked you both this question many times, but since you're both in the same room, I'm going to ask you again. For most of us who don't play music, if you're sitting, like just now, when listen to that music, listen to that song, it's like there's like a current that flows, like electricity, that everybody that's a musician kind of taps into and goes, oh, we're going this way, or we're going that way, or the current goes this way, the current goes this way. And some of it's learned, like, okay, I know this chord because we've done it 1,000 times, but there's always a moment of spontaneity.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we don't understand, is how to, because in real time in the human mind, it'd be a moment where you go, what is that? When I need to change. whereas you guys all just go whoop and move on.
Right.
Is there any way to? I mean, I just did a lot of talking, but is there any way to like describe that juice? You know what I mean? Because that really is music.
A certain type of music, I guess. 'Cause
Well,
music
yeah.
can be. When we were rehearsing just in there, and I heard the train blast, I'm like, okay, that's when I just turn on the distortion pedal. And so I did. It was a reaction, and so the music can be like that. It can be live, and it can be reactionary. You ask a question, you get an answer, or it can be all mapped out and laid out and written down and followed to the exact note.
I've always wondered that if, like, those bands that, or those shows, like maybe a Madonna show or something that's very mapped out, and they're all wearing monitors inside their ears, and they know exactly what the next song's going to be. But you still see the crowd responding in a big way to a show like that. But I wonder if it's because it's a show and it's the lights. I wonder if it's that musical juice you were talking about that's making them explode. I don't know, because for me, I've always noticed that when they're within the show, when there's a moment of spontaneity where you're reacting to either the crowd or someone else in the band, as soon as you go to that new territory, that's when things get really exciting. And so I think for me, it's always trying to not always know exactly what I'm going to be doing next.
Right.
So that starts to become the technique. That's the technique, is not knowing.
Right.
Keeping yourself open.
Yeah.
Right on.
And so I think a lot of musicians, as soon as they can start playing along with chords and playing together as an ensemble, they're going to do their best to learn something as a unit. But then if they can just start improvising and kind of get this ensemble or the music up off the ground, then they can see that, hey, they can take it anywhere they want, and as fast or as slow as they want to.
Nice.
So at some point, like on a tour, when things start to get really known, you have to get unknown. You have to try to forget it. And sometimes maybe that's why musicians get involved in drugs and stuff, because they can take a drug and then it's not them doing it anymore. But really, that's kind of a false sense. And if you can like get it from within yourself to go out there on stage and stir the soup up in a different way, whether it's through the drums or through a different guitar solo or trying out a new vocal thing, it always is refreshing to the rest of the band. And they'll sense it. And then the people sense it, the audience. They start feeling like they're hearing something for the first time.
Do you think this album's gonna just, take it to a whole other different area, like both in the how people perceive you, record business, that whole stuff? You think it's gonna be different? People are gonna go, whoa.
Yeah, of course, because the music is quite a bit different, and we're about halfway done as far as mixing all the songs here in October of 2005. And so after this tour with Iron and Wine in Calexico, we'll go back to New York and do some more mixing and compile it, see if it makes sense, put it in an order, and put it to bed.